everyone, Amanda here from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. So today we're going to make a lovely card. Now, I haven't made a sample, I don't really know how this is going to turn out. So this is crafting on the hop, as it were. It's called Make It Up As You Go Along crafting. And every so often, quite often if I'm honest, this is how I like to create. Because I like to share my thought processes, and so you can see how cards just come together. Really, you don't have to have a set plan, you don't have to have a specific anything, you just craft and see what happens. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut my card bases, because I like to make standard cards. I'm not really into big massive fancy folds that are all complicated with all different measurements. My focus is always on the stamps and the beautiful images rather than complicated folds, because I like to keep it super simple so that anybody can make it. So I'm going to cut this to, which way am I going to do it? I'm just going to cut the A4 and I'm going to cut it to 4 1/8 there with my fantastic new Stampin' Up trimmer. I was a little bit kind of not sure if I'm convinced when I heard about the new trimmer coming out, but do you know what, the more I use it, the more I love it. It's fantastic. The blades are super sharp. I'm just loving it. I really do like the new trimmer, and it's been really popular. Quite a lot of my customers have bought this. They really have loved it. So I've used craft card here, but that is my personal preference. I've got a great big stash of it that I bought from a craft fair many moons ago. If you're buying from Stampin' Up, the next nearest is Crumb Cake. That's what we use. In fact, this could well be a craft card from when Stampin' Up used to sell it. I don't know. And then I'm going to cut a white card base, and I'm going to just cut this a little bit smaller. I'm going to cut it at 4 inches by 5 3/4. I think that's right. And I'm going to cut 2. The reason being, one's going to be for the front and one's going to be for the back. I think I've cut that. Have I cut that right? Yeah. When you just doubt yourself. So 4 by 5 3/4 will just give us a really tiny border. And sometimes I like to layer up my cards with lots of layers, so that it's nice and sturdy, and I know it's not gonna, like on the mantelpiece or the fireplace or wherever it's been put, I don't want it to go like that. That's what I'm avoiding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly put the inside layer in. Alright, because I'm not decorating, I don't need to do anything special to that just now. I can just get that in. You can write on there. You don't need to layer it up if you're wanting to save on supplies. You don't have to. Right, so just get that in there. I just need it straight, please. Straight, please. The thing with craft card is that it seems to be quite thirsty, so it's not as forgiving if you don't get it straight. You can't always move your card about as much because it's a little bit more absorbent, or at least I feel like it is. There we go, it's straight now. Alright, so what am I going to do on here? Let me just move that. Well, I'm not quite sure. I've got a selection of things out, okay. I think I'm going to do a stamped background using the script here from Fanciful Fragrance, because I really do like that. And I've brought Smoky Slate over, which is a very pale grey. So what I might do, let me just get some, I'll just have this bit of scrap here, and decide if I'm going to, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp myself a random background of script. Alright, and I'm going to allow it to bear different, like we've gone dark to light, that's what we're doing. Okay, and I am literally just stamping that really random light, just a a nice background. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go, I've just stamped that. It's just the background. So I'm going to stick that on there now. I think I just might, what I might do is I'm just going to cut a sliver off of there. Just want it a tiny sliver shorter. Just the thickness of that craft card's just ever so slightly different from my Stampin' Up! Whisper White. So I've just made a tiny adjustment there. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to distress the edges there. Alright. And if it rips it a tiny bit, all that does is adds to the look. I love a distressed edge. You can get fancy tools to do this, but I don't think it's necessary. Just use the edge of your scissors. Alright, get rid of those fluffy bits. Make sure there's no fluffy bits hanging about, because if that sticks into your ink pads it's not good. And I'm going to glue that on there now. Okay, so I've no idea what I'm doing at this stage. I've got a very, very vague idea in my mind. And that's about as far as it goes. Right, so I'm just going to layer that on there now. So I've got that lovely script and that lovely distressed look there. Okay, I do tend to try and do cards quite different to some Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. You know, I think I've got a bit of my own style, I suppose. And I do love anything that's got a bit of a vintage, shabby look to it. That's why I like distressing the edges. Right, so what else I just did before? The only thing that I knew was that I wanted to use an oval as my focal point. So I've used my layering ovals and I've used two sizes here. Okay, and I've layered one inside the other. So I've cut myself a frame and I've also got this, which I might put my sentiment on, but I'm not sure yet. So let me just tell you which sizes I've used. So this one is the it measures about 2 7/8 across, and then this one measures about, and this is from edge to edge, 2 1/8. Okay, and they just layer inside like that. Let's just move those to one side. Now, one thing I did want to do with this frame was I want to try my crackle paint effect. I've not used it yet, it's brand new. Look, I've not even took the sticker off. It's criminal, really. So I'm going to take that off there. Throw that in the bin, I don't need that. I never put the stickers on the back because I'm a little bit lazy. And I'm using one of my large blocks, which are ideal. This is an F block. These are perfect for the background stamps. However, if you don't want to go to the expense of that, what you can do, and what I've done before, stick it on your stamp case like that and use that as a stamp block. Okay, but I do like to have the correct blocks for it. So what colour am I doing this? Don't know, not decided. Let's have it pink. Let's have Blushing Bride. So I'm just gonna, don't know how this is gonna turn out, because as I say, I've not used this stamp before. So I'm just adding the ink all over, and then I'm gonna put my frame on. Let's see what we end up with. This will be as much of a surprise to me as it is to you. Alright, let's just gently lift that off. Oh wow, that's cool, look at that. Can you see that? That's giving me a lovely crackled effect, but it also kind of even almost looks like marble. That's really lovely, I like that. Oh, I'm happy with that. Right. So that is the crackle paint background. Beautiful, love it. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that to dry a minute. And now another thing I wanted to do was I want a flower. I do want a flower, so I'm going to use the floral essence. I'm going to use the petals, and then I'm going to punch them out. So I think I'm going to do them in the Blushing Bride as well. Alright, so let me just take that off there, and we'll make some flowers. or a flower. I think I'm just going to have just the one flower. Okay, so one there. We'll have one there. And I'll just do another one in case I decide it needs a bit more. In fact, let's do some extras. I'm not sure how thick I want the flower yet. Right, so that's my fanciful fragrance. We'll move that out of the way. And here is my coordinating punch. The best thing that Stampin' Up! Do are the coordinating punch and stamp bundles. These are the whole reason I joined Stampin' Up! I love them, and the punches are second to none. And I don't care what anybody says, they are the best quality out there. They're just the best punches on the market. And you know, I do have other brands in my collection, and I'm sorry, people can argue all day long with me. Stampin' Up! Are the best. That's as simple as it is. Oh dear me. I love that noise. There you go. That is a sign you've got a good quality. It's got nice weight behind it, so you're not going to, you know, I've had punches before and they don't even cut through cardstock. I'm like, what's the point? What is the point? Right, so I'm going to do a bit of shaping on this flower. So let me just get my stamping piercing mat. Let me give these petals a bit of shape. Still not 100% sure what we're doing yet. It will all come together, I'm quite sure. So, I've used thick white card here, so it's quite sturdy. So one way you can shape the flowers easier if, you know, you've got really thick card is to give them a bit of a spritz with some water. I'm not doing that today. I haven't got time. I don't want it to end up soggy, but that is one thing you can do, is you can spritz it with water, and it just helps those fibres break up that bit easier. Let's do this one. Alright. Sorry if my table's wobbling. Alright, there we go. And then one little tip. Did I bring some? One little tip to give more dimension is to actually glue the petals together. Not with glue, but with dimensionals in between each layer. And then that will make them stand even more proud from each other, if you know what I mean. Oh, that's just something random falling off of my shelf in my craft room, like, you know. We often have little avalanches, don't we, in our craft rooms. So I'm going to layer that one there, I think. And then we'll have one more layer. And then we've got a nice full flower there then. Nice and dimensional, nice and thick. Where do I want that one? There, don't I? There we go. And we've got all those lovely petals, and if we bend them up, we've got some nice dimension there, and some nice, just bend the bottom ones under. And we've got a nice dimensional flower there, okay? Right, so what else I want to just do is I'm just going to grab one of my sponges, alright, and I'm just going to get some ink on there. I'm holding it in the middle and at the back, and then I'm just going to flip over just the tips of those petals. It'll just make it look a bit softer. And it's quicker doing it like this than spending ages inking each individual petal. You don't need to. Alright, there we go. There we go. That's nice, we've done that. Alright, so what I need to do now is decide on my sentiment. Just bob that out of the way 1 minute. So let's have a look. So I did have this, didn't I? Tell you what, let's just flick over. Plenty of ink on there. Let's just flick over the edge of that, just in case it shows. Just gives us a softer edge. And what I'm going to do as well, even though I've already stuck it down, I'm just going to go back over and I'm just going to ink the edge of that white cardstock there. Just to give it, there you go. There we go, that's got a nice soft pink hue to it now. Okay, I'll go a little bit heavier on the corners, that's how I like to do it. There we go, and we'll also just gently do the edge of the frame there as well. Oh, that looks nice. So this is Blushing Bride. It's a lovely, lovely pink colour, but it's not bright pink. It's a nice soft, it's a nice pink, and I'm just going to go around the inside there. I'm just going to swirl it around just to soften that white, that white edge so it's not as harsh. Right, let's leave that for now. And let's find ourselves a sentiment. What are we going to put on here? Wishing you a blissful future. Is that going to fit on there? Let's have a look. Let me see if it will fit on my, on there. And then we're going to layer that over like that. Except I didn't want it that way really. I really wanted it that way. Let's have a look, what else have we got? All days are beautiful that begin with you. Let's have that one. Let's have a look, and then we can have it that way up. Yep, that fits. We're going with that one. Right, so take that off of there. Put that on there. And I think I'm going to do it in, let's see if it'll show up in grey granite. I'm not always sure which shade of grey to use. Some are quite pale and they don't show up. Oh, that one's alright, we'll have that one. So this is grey granite. Okay. So if I ink that up. And then because I can see through there, I shouldn't have a problem getting that. She says, sorry if my messy head gets in the shot. Shouldn't have a problem getting that kind of central. Although I always say if something's not perfect, it doesn't matter. There we go, that's not bad. Doesn't matter. Alright. Handmade with love, not handmade with perfection. Otherwise it defeats the whole object of it being handmade. May as well just go and get one that's been made by a machine. Handmade cards are special because they've got, you know, you've thought about the person that you're making it for. I'm going to glue that one on so it's flat. So I'm going as central as I can, although, you know, I'm not measuring it, I'm just doing it by eye. I'm not too worried. And then this one we're going to put on with dimensionals. Now I just need to make sure that they don't protrude. We don't want to see the dimensionals, so I'm getting a flat edge each side, making sure, there we go, that those dimensionals aren't going to show. Alright. You could use mini dimensionals if you want. That one might be a good idea. Okay, let's remove those. And then we'll place that over our sentiment. It just gives that sentiment a framed look. Alright. And then we've got that lovely crackled frame there. Right, so now we've got our flower here. But what I want to do is I want to frame the flower with some leaves. So you can stamp them. I'm just going to punch them. Don't need to stamp them as well. Alright, I'm just going to, in fact I'll just do 3. I'm just going to punch them out. I don't even need to stamp them. There is a leaf stamp there. If you don't have green card, you could stamp it on white card with green ink. And that's how awesome and versatile Stampin' Up is for you. Right, so let's give these just a little bit of something. A little bit of shape. There we go. Okie doke. And then that lovely green colour will just stand out then, won't it, against that soft pink. So I'm going to use another dimensional there. And I'm going to, where shall I have my flower? I'll have it down here. Let me just lift those petals up. I'm in shot. Lift those petals up. I'm going to put it there. Look at the dimension of that. It's beautiful. And then all I've got to do then is just attach my leaves. And I can just glue those behind. And I can slot them in like that. Alright, and that green just gives that soft pink a bit of a lift. Okay. Just hold that while it dries so it doesn't fall out. And then this one in here. I should be able to slide that right inside there. Just lift those petals up and slide it right in. There we go. And just hold that while it dries. And then what I'm going to do is I've got my crystal shimmer effects. Shimmery crystal effects, I keep calling it the wrong thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in the centre of that flower there and just give myself a little dab of that. And then when that dries, it'll be like a glossy, shimmery flower centre. Alright. Let's zoom in on that. I think that's super pretty. Ooh, the focus has gone a bit bonkers on there. Let's go back out. So I just add this small clip to the end because my focus went for some reason. So here's the complete card with the correct focus. I do apologise if it went a bit skew with there. I hope you enjoyed the making of this card. Look at that lovely flower, look at that beautiful dimension. I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!